Chemical substances are inseparable from our lives. The human body itself is made up of some 20 natural substances, including carbon, hydrogen, iron, and zinc. But our modern world depends upon and is floating in a sea of human-made chemicals. From the moment we are in the womb until the end of our lives, we live, breathe, eat, and work in a world awash in synthetic chemicals. The World Health Organization estimates there are more than 100,000 human-made chemicals in commercial circulation today, and those appear in some 3 million products. The media and the internet remind us on a daily basis that government, public interest groups, and consumers are vocally critical of the health and environmental threats of industrial toxic chemicals.
We're a group of investment managers. We manage about $22 billion in assets, and we're basically saying to companies, you should be adopting safer chemicals, policies, and practices. And this is part of a larger wave worldwide of investors going to companies saying, you need to adopt better social and environmental policies because they'll be good for business.
Today, regulators in the courts routinely impose hefty fines for companies they feel have improperly handled or disposed of toxic chemicals. And government regulations on the corporate use of hazardous chemicals only promise to increase in the U.S., as they are now doing worldwide.
Well, I've been covering occupational safety and health issues for about 30 years. And during that period, we've seen a lot of concern about chemical hazards in the workplace. I think the sum total of these is that many companies are looking at this. They're looking at the regulatory burden and the economic burden of having toxic chemicals. And what they're saying is if we can reduce that burden overall, we'll be better off in the long term.
While toxic reduction-driven programs are growing internationally, a large number of companies have no program. Worse, despite the best intentions of those organizations' EHS and corporate purchasing professionals, their companies often do not have a truly accurate picture of the chemical hazards they store, use, and dispose of in their operations.
After 15 years of providing consulting to the Fortune 500 companies in this country, I can tell you that in forming chemical management solutions, we find that chemicals are entering the workplace in largely uncontrolled manner, particularly with regard to toxicity and price.
Central purchasing, they're doing a good job with the process chemicals, the hundreds of thousands or thousands of gallons that cost millions of dollars, but they really have no good idea on the smaller day-to-day chemicals. Companies should focus on the lower cost, lower toxic alternatives and stop buying the high-end, high-cost products. We gain visibility through our software to help companies look at the chemicals they're already buying in each use category. This screen looks at all the gasket sealants actually being used by a multi-site business. As you can see on this chart, the range of toxicity and cost is far too wide between product choices. So we focus on identifying for purchase these lower cost, safer products in the lower left corner.
The business case for reducing the numbers of toxic chemicals in industry is clear. Toxic reductions can mean reduced costs, vendor consolidation, improved productivity, product differentiation, new market opportunities, reduced potential liabilities, better public relations, and better stakeholder relations.
Delta Airlines, when they instituted a program with a third-party provider, they were able to reduce their costs by 30%. But what's interesting is they also reduced their insurance premiums because they had less material on their site, less toxic material hanging around, and that's what helped them.
Through supply chain greening, industry also saves millions of dollars in the insurance, storage, special handling, and disposal of toxic chemicals. Toxic chemical reductions isn't a wave of the future for industry. It's happening now and gaining momentum every day.